You pick your phone up off the charger, and it is warm, sometimes uncomfortably so. Your first thought is probably that something is wrong. A faulty battery, a dying charger, a phone that is slowly cooking itself in your pocket. Here is the thing. In almost every case, none of that is true. Your phone is not malfunctioning. It is simply obeying physics that has been true since before phones existed. Let's start with the flip. You assume heat means damage. Engineers assume heat means normal operation. Both of you are looking at the same warm phone and reaching completely different conclusions. And the engineers are right. Why does electricity make things hot at all? Every wire, every connector, every component your charging current passes through has some electrical resistance. As electrons push through that resistance, some of their energy converts to heat. Not most of it, some of it. But some is never zero. This is called resistive heating, and no energy transfer in the universe is perfectly efficient. Not your kettle, not your laptop charger, not the cable snaking across your bedside table. So some heat is guaranteed the moment current starts flowing. But that is only half the story. The other half is happening inside the battery itself. A lithium-ion battery charges by moving lithium ions from one internal electrode to another through a liquid electrolyte across a microscopically thin separator. That movement is not frictionless. The ions meet internal resistance too, resistance inside the chemistry, not just the wiring. Push them through faster, and that resistance generates heat directly inside the cell, right next to the very components that are most sensitive to temperature. Which explains something you have probably noticed. Fast chargers make your phone noticeably hotter than a slow overnight charge. Why would more speed mean more heat? Because of a relationship electrical engineers call I squared R. Heat generated through resistance scales with the square of the current, not in a straight line with it. Double the current pushing into your battery, and the resistive heating does not just double, it roughly quadruples. That is why a 30-minute fast charge can feel warmer than 8 hours plugged in overnight. You are not pushing more total energy in some reckless way. You are pushing the same energy through in far less time, and the heat cost of that speed rises steeply, not gently. Now add another variable. What happens if you use your phone while it charges? The processor is already generating its own heat, completely separate from the battery. Scroll, game, stream a video while plugged in, and you are stacking CPU and GPU heat directly on top of charging heat in the same small sealed box. Your phone has a limit for how hot it will allow itself to get. When it approaches that limit, it deliberately slows itself down. This is thermal throttling, the processor intentionally reducing its own performance to cut heat production before anything gets damaged. That brief stutter in a game while charging is not a bug. It is your phone protecting itself, and your case is not helping. Phone cases are, among other things, insulators. They are excellent at keeping impact energy away from the glass and aluminum, and just as good, unfortunately, at keeping heat from escaping into the surrounding air. A case does not add heat. It simply stops the heat that already exists from leaving as quickly as it should, which is why some people notice their phone runs cooler with the case off during a fast charge. So what stops any of this becoming dangerous? Every modern phone contains a battery management system, a small piece of dedicated hardware and firmware doing one job continuously, washing the battery's temperature, voltage, and charging current in real time. If temperatures climb too high, it does not wait for a crisis. It quietly slows the charging current. In more extreme cases, it pauses charging altogether until things cool down. This is not the phone being cautious for no reason. Lithium-ion chemistry degrades measurably faster when it is charged while hot. Its long-term capacity shrinks quicker. Its lifespan shortens. The battery management system is trading a few extra minutes of charging time today for a battery that still holds a real charge in 2 years. So the next time your phone feels warm on the charger, that warmth is resistive heating in the circuit, ion movement inside the cell, current squared into resistance, and a protection system quietly doing its job, all at once, in a device that fits in your palm. Not a fault. Just physics, working exactly as intended. Now you know.